We're 2 weeks into another NBA season, and it's another season without seeing any action so far with Bol Bol. And for those of you who have watched my channel since day one, you know that I'm probably the biggest Bol Bol fan out there. Watching him play, in my opinion, is extremely fun to see a 7'2" unicorn go out there and do dominant guard-like type things, and to see him have his talent wasted and not get any playing time or consistent playing time in the first 2 years, and it's looking like 3 years of his career, is absolutely infuriating for me as a fan of this player. And a couple months ago on this channel, I made a video which is now actually in my top 5 most viewed videos on this channel and has over 2,000 views, about a conspiracy theory on maybe why Bol Bol wasn't getting consistent playing time. And in that one, I talked about how he might have an injury that the Nuggets were secretly being careful about and just easing him back and easing him into getting consistent NBA minutes in maybe this season. But it looks like that conspiracy theory that I had, even though it looked pretty logical at the time and I explained that in the video, it looked like it's not true, because now we've seen Bol Bol get consistent playing time in the summer league, but still not play at all in the regular season this year. So today I'm going to talk about a different theory about how Bol Bol does not have a very good relationship with Mike Malone, and this might be the only reason why he's not getting playing time, and if he was on another team, he probably would be getting consistent minutes right now. So let's get into this theory and why I think it's true. So I know I've done this many times on the channel, but we've got to start off this video by talking about just how ridiculously dumb it is that Bol Bol hasn't gotten a chance to showcase his talents in the NBA consistently yet. I mean, look at this guy. He's a 7'2" unicorn out there who has undeniably unique talent, who, when you watch him play, it's really clear that he at least has the potential to be a very good player in this league one day, on really both ends of the floor, and he just needs development to get up to the point where he can legitimately start helping NBA teams get wins. And not only has he not gotten a chance yet in the NBA, but he has proven multiple times that he does deserve that chance as well. I mean, a lot of people around the NBA community have criticized Bol Bol for his lack of effort at times, but he's proven in the recent times that he's played that he's absolutely putting in all of the effort that he has on the floor. When you look at what he did in the summer league and in the preseason this year, despite those being meaningless games in terms of the team, he was definitely putting in a lot of effort, and he's been putting in the work in the offseason as well, and not a lot of people are talking about that. And Bol Bol may have some attitude issues that may contribute to his bad relationship with Mike Malone, which we will talk about later in this video. But in terms of him as a basketball player alone, it is absolutely certain that he should be getting playing time in the NBA right now. And like I said, not only does he have this undeniable talent and potential, but he has also proved pretty much through every component of times that he has played in the NBA that he deserves these minutes, and he's never really screwed up when he has actually played in the NBA. We go all the way back to the amazing talent that he showcased in the NBA bubble back in 2020, when he showed his unicorn type skill set with his ability to handle the ball, score at all 3 levels of the game, be an incredible 3-point shooter for a guy who's 7'2", and also be a very good rim protector on defense. And then we look at the very small showcase of minutes that he played throughout the course of last regular season. I mean, there were times here where he was chucking up bad shots, but these are at the end of meaningless games, so Bol was really just going out there and trying to showcase his talent, maybe a little bit too much. But when he was in his groove last season in those garbage time minutes, he absolutely showed his undeniable potential as well there. And then when we look at what he did in the summer league this year, I mean, looking at some of his stats from the summer league and what he showcased, he put up 21.7 points per game, which per 36 minutes would be 29 points, which is really absolutely insane, and did this on 58% true shooting, which is above league average right now, and also 40% from 3, and created his own shot a lot of the time, and showcased his defensive skill, as in many of those games he had a very good defended field goal percentage, and showed that he can put in the effort on that end of the floor as well, and that his length can really affect shots, especially of maybe unexperienced bench players coming off of the bench in the NBA. And then we look what he did in the preseason this year. He led the entire preseason in blocks per game with 3.7 per game, and did this in only 18 minutes per game, meaning he averaged an incredible 7.4 blocks per 36 minutes in the preseason last year. And people are still trying to say that this man isn't getting minutes because of his defense, when really he could probably be one of the best shot blockers, at least in the NBA. And I know he's not a great overall defender and can maybe get beat off the dribble a couple of times if he gets switched onto the perimeter, but his length can absolutely affect a lot of shots, and he can provide a lot of things on both ends of the floor. So I think what I've talked about here in the last 4 minutes of this video really proves that Bol Bol should be deserving playing time, but now we got to get into why he's probably not, and really his relationship with Mike Malone. When we look at what some of the things that have come out recently about Bol Bol and what he's been saying on social media behind the scenes, first of all, there's this screenshot that came out a couple days ago about him really criticizing Mike Malone in these DMs with someone on Instagram. We don't know who it is, but you can see here that Bol Bol is definitely criticizing Mike Malone and essentially saying that the person who DM'd him here said that he's got to get out of Denver, which is absolutely true for him to showcase his talent, but he basically says here that either he has to get out of Denver or Mike Malone has to get out of Denver. And there's no doubt that as a Bol Bol fan, I admit that this is very unprofessional from Bol, but he absolutely does have the right to be angry at a coach who is basically wasting his incredible talent. Not to mention too that I myself was actually DM'd some screenshots that were quickly deleted right after, but they were from a Bol Bol fan page that I had followed on Instagram for a while, and the fan page essentially sent me DMs that they also had with Bol, that about Bol basically criticizing Mike Malone and saying that not only was he a bad coach for not letting him play, but that he thought he was a bad coach in general. And then lastly, we also saw a couple days ago Bol Bol like a tweet that was saying that he has to get out of Denver, and essentially the tweet was saying that he has been spending pretty much the last 3 years, or at least after this year will be 3 years, of him essentially just riding the bench, just having his talent wasted, and that he needs to get out of Denver to have his talent showcased. And Bol Bol actually did like this tweet. So here are pretty much 3 examples of Bol Bol showing that he absolutely does not like Mike Malone, and they do not see eye to eye. And we see sometimes too that when Bol Bol's sitting on the bench, more so last year, but a lot of the time he was not really engaged on the bench. He wasn't really getting hype, and this doesn't really have anything to do with why he should be deserving playing time or not, but you can see that he's not really happy on this team, and he's not invested in them winning as a team, and you can see that he really just does not like the way that Mike Malone is handling the situation with not only him, but with this team in general. And while these actions do seem pretty unprofessional from Bol, you do have to see it from his perspective and see that he absolutely has the right to be like this. I mean, imagine being an NBA player who has some talent that pretty much no one else in the NBA has, of being 7'2" and being able to play like a guard and impact NBA games at a very high level and potentially be a star down the road in your career, and having your growth stunted by not even playing at all in the first 2 to 3 years in your career. You would absolutely have the right to be very angry at this situation and do pretty much anything you can to get out of that, and you would absolutely not see eye to eye with your coach either. And then we also have to look at what Mike Malone has done in this situation to basically show that he has a bad relationship with Bol as well. First of all, you really never see the two engaging that much on the bench. We saw in the bubble and maybe early last season how these two didn't actually have that bad of a relationship. Mike Malone at times would praise Bol's work ethic, and there's actually a clip on YouTube of him actually talking about Bol Bol after the game that they played against the Brooklyn Nets last year, where he actually got a rare start, and how Mike Malone was saying that he was engaged in like team practices and he was definitely putting in a lot of work. and we saw a lot of times in the bubble how the two were communicating, and Mike Malone definitely showed a lot of times that he saw the potential in Bol Bol and was very impressed with his actions and his play in the bubble. But pretty much ever since then, we've really never seen the two engage with each other, and despite Bol's very impressive play, not only in the Summer League but also in the preseason this year, Mike Malone has really never had any type of comments about that. And we actually saw towards the end of last year when there was a reporter during the end of the regular season last year where the Nuggets were kind of locked in to their seeding in the Western Conference. There was a reporter that asked Mike Malone whether they would see Zeke Naji and Bol Bol get some more playing time because the Nuggets didn't exactly need to play their regulars anymore. And Mike Malone basically responded by talking about Zeke Naji and how much work ethic he had and praising him so much and saying that he deserved a lot of minutes, and he didn't even comment on Bol despite his name being mentioned in the question. So this is just one example of how Mike Malone shows that he also does not necessarily like Bol Bol and have a good relationship with him. And then, like I said, we can see other things really throughout the season of them trying to maybe hide this bad relationship but not doing a great job of it. As you can see, the two of them never really interacting with each other. So this is the main reason why I think that Bol Bol isn't getting playing time right now. I think you put him on any other team with any other coach, I think you would definitely see him getting consistent minutes because of how everyone knows that Bol has lots of talent that needs to be put to work. We still see guys on the Nuggets this season like Facu Campazzo, JaMychal Green, and PJ Dozier, guys who are clearly not as good as Bol Bol, getting anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes per game, while Bol is getting absolutely 0 minutes every game and not even getting a chance to touch the ball in the NBA. And this is definitely very suspicious, and I really don't see how this has anything to do with Bol's actual play. And I think I've laid out all the evidence that this pretty much has all to do with the relationship off the court between Bol Bol and Mike Malone. And like I said, definitely it's not all Mike Malone's fault. Bol Bol is not handling the situation very well, and I'll admit that as a fan of Bol. But he definitely has to get himself out of Denver so he can showcase his talent at the NBA level and make that quest into becoming a potential star down the road in his career and showcasing his incredibly unique talent. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and make sure you comment down below your thoughts on Bol Bol and his situation and relationship with Mike Malone, and I'll see you all next video.